and welcome back to the DAZN Boxing Show presented by BetMGM. We are in the Toshiba Plaza, just outside T-Mobile Arena, where later today, Canelo Alvarez and Gennadiy Golovkin will fight for the undisputed super middleweight championship. We'll try to settle a bit of a grudge match between them as well. I'm Chris Mannix, joined by Akin Barak, the co-host of the DAZN Boxing Show, Sergio Mora, former junior middleweight champion and DAZN broadcaster. Guys, we're going to take a look at some of the odds for this fight, because this is going to be a fight that is bet on heavily over the next 12 or 13 hours. So let's take a look at some of the top odds that are out there presented by BetMGM. Canelo by knockout, Sergio, that is at plus 150 right now. That's something I think a lot of people are getting more interested in as this fight gets closer, because all week long, what has Canelo been saying? I'm not just going to win, I'm going to knock this guy out.
Not only that, but Canelo could carry his power into the later rounds. I mean, he knocked out Caleb Plant in the 11th. He knocked out Kovalev in the 11th. It's 10.5 rounds, so the over sounds good, but a knockout definitely in the cards.
Yeah, I think definitely in the cards as well. Barak, Golovkin by knockout. Certainly some steeper odds there at plus 800. Gennadi's got the power to stop a lot of guys. He hit Canelo with some clean shots in the first couple of fights. How nervous would you be about that bet?
I'd be super nervous. I would never take that bet. We've never even seen Canelo hurt since he was 19 years old. Never again. Not hurt to the body, not hurt to the face. Triple G hit him flush, and he shook every single punch. I think that's a horrible bet.
Yeah, well, I wonder if Canelo, or Golovkin rather, is going to sell out in this fight and really go for broke in his debut at 168 pounds. That could be a little bit interesting if you want to try to make some money there. All right, Ak, when we go down the list here, Golovkin by decision. That is Canelo by decision. That is at plus 110 right now. That feels like the safest bet out there in the odds.
Absolutely, that's the safest bet. In regards to Canelo knocking Triple G out, I think those odds should just be as wide as Triple G knocking Canelo out.
You can't deal with your own odds.
No. I don't see Canelo knocking Triple G out either, and I don't see Canelo Triple G knocking out Canelo. Yeah. So I think that's the odds maker. They have it wrong on that. As far as Canelo beating him by the points, that's what we all expecting. I mean, most people see that because of Triple G's age, what they saw against Murata, that there's no way he can beat Canelo in a decision, especially here in Vegas.
He wasn't a spring chicken when he fought him the first and second time either.
I know.
And gave Canelo a hell of a fight, and most people think he won at least the first one.
I don't see it happen. I think that's the safest bet, Chris.
All right, Sergio, let's look at Golovkin by decision, because this is something I think that you can kind of envision. The first two fights were razor close. Golovkin, he has looked good in his last few fights, 4-0 since that loss to Gennadiy Golovkin back in 2018. Golovkin by decision at plus 700 right now.
I like that bet because the aura of Canelo being invincible in Vegas is gone. I mean, 4 months ago, he lost a decision here with Dimitri Bivol. So I think Golovkin, who has a similar style, some similarities to Bivol as far as the mindset and the power that they carry and the jab, of course, I can see, you maybe sprinkle a little bit of money on that.
You ain't betting on that. You're not betting on that.
But I'm a betting man.
You're not betting on that one.
Sprinkle a little bit of money on that, just a little bit.
I need the prop bets. I need them crazy odds.
Well, we'll get to some of those in just a minute.
Well, Canelo hurts his toe in the third round.
Yeah, that one.
Remember, you can get your boosted winnings with a BetMGM parlay at any time over the rest of the day. All right, let's look at the final outcomes of this fight. Canelo by unanimous decision. Brock, I'll turn to you. That's at plus 150 right now. That's, again, something that a lot of people out there, I think, can envision.
Yeah, especially if Adelaide Bird is one of the judges.
She's left the country.
That actually makes sense. Shout out to Adelaide Bird. You tried your best. I think that actually makes sense. I think it's going to be a tight fight no matter what, but sometimes the judges lean towards the more popular fighter. And if you watch the fights, Triple G landed a lot of jabs, way more than Canelo, doubled them both times. But the cleaner, harder shots, it came from Canelo. So I think that's why it's easy to have a unanimous decision win with Canelo.
All right, I want to give you a bet that I like a lot. Canelo by split decision. Remember, the first two fights between these two guys, none of them were unanimous. The first fight, of course, a draw. The second fight, a majority decision for Canelo Alvarez. What do you think of Canelo by split decision, which is at plus 900 right now?
I think I'm about to go to the bookie over there and place a big bet on this one because, look, Canelo is very aggressive even before the fight. We all know what he wants to do. Sometimes that leads to a guy gassing out late in the fight because he is trying to land big power shots. He wants to get Triple G out of there. So maybe this fight goes Canelo's way, his way early in the fight. Maybe he gasses out. Triple G, rallies at the end of the fight, and we see a split decision. So far, Chris, best bet.
That's a good bet, but I'll give you an even better one, Sergio. Canelo by majority decision, which is at plus 1,600. I can see one of these judges coming up with a draw at the end of this fight. We've seen it, twice in the first 2 fights where a draw's been on the scorecards. What do you think of the majority decision?
I like that better.
Hey, listen, I like that bet. That's the sprinkling I'm talking about.
How much sprinkling are you doing?
Hey, listen, $100. That's it. Yeah,
like
so a little bit of sprinkling on that. A knockout in the 11th round and the 12th round. You know, they're going to pay a lot as well. But no, I definitely don't. Look, I'm going to disagree with a lot of the bookmakers. I think a knockout. We're going to see a knockout. It's going to be similar.
In whose favor?
In favor of Canelo, I would think, I would expect. But, you know, I'm not going to put it past Golovkin to hurt Canelo either. They both have big chins, they have big power, and they know each other. So with familiarity comes resentment, contempt. They know each other. They're going to go for the kill.
I just love the Sergio Moore sprinkling. That's a lot of money being sprinkled around by the Latin snake. All right, Brock, let me look at Golovkin and some of the odds for him. Golovkin by split decision. This is the best odds of any of them. Plus 1,800 for Gennadiy Golovkin to win by split decision.
That makes a man who doesn't bet like myself.
Want to go bet?
Want to sprinkle.
Want to do a little sprinkle. Salt bay. You know, look at that. Thinking alike. Even bad minds think alike, because we're not great minds. I think that's a safe. There is no such thing as a safe bet with me. You know, but that would be probably the safest bet. Every fight they're going to ever fight, if they fought 100 times, it'd be close, every single one.
Yeah, I agree. And along those lines, Golovkin by unanimous decision, that's at plus 1,400. That's 3 judges saying that Golovkin won this fight cleanly. I love the odds on that, but I have a real hard time believing that all 3 judges are going to score a fight against Canelo Alvarez.
The bookie should toss that bet, crumble it up, and throw it in the garbage. Nobody is placing that bet. That's not going to happen. Period.
Yeah, I agree with that. Sergio, let's talk about the over-under number of rounds here. Less than 10 rounds for Canelo and Golovkin. That's going off right now at plus 200. You like a knockout in this fight. Do you think it's a good bet to go 10 rounds or less?
And that one, I'm actually putting some money on that one. I would actually recommend that, because I see this fight going like another great trilogy in Bowen Holyfield. That trilogy, that third fight, ended in a knockout. They knew each other so well, and Holyfield, I believe, got stopped in the 8th or 9th round. I could see similar parallels in this fight.
So what makes you think that Golovkin is going to get stopped, though? Because I agree with that part.
He got hurt with Derevyanchenko. He got hurt with Murata, 40 years old, the inactivity. Canelo has fought 8 times in the last couple of years. Golovkin's only fought 4.
I think Canelo actually hurt him to the body too, but he still did very, very well.
He hurt him in the 6th round to the body, yes.
People keep talking about the inactivity, but maybe a fighter that had that run that he did at middleweight needs a break. Maybe he needed some time off. Canelo's been active in fights, in real fights, though he's been winning. Maybe that might serve Triple G well.
Yeah, no, it could happen. Especially the older you get, you need that rest. You don't want to train harder, you want to train smarter. And yes, that rest will help for an older fighter.
I know, look, I do think that if this fight does get stopped, it's going to get stopped because of body shots that go to the midsection of Gennadiy Golovkin. And it might need to take Golovkin's own trainer or even the referee to step in, because I don't think Gennadiy Golovkin is going to quit. I don't think that is in him at all. All right, Barack, 10 rounds or more right now at minus 275. So that says the odds makers are believing this fight's going to go the distance.
That's a good bet. I think that's a good bet.
Yeah, I mean,
not great odds for that, though.
Not great odds, though. You're not going to make a ton of money.
Well, that's what safe people like myself do. I don't even bet. So imagine, I need something safe like that. I'll bet they'll just come to the ring. That's about it.
I think going the distance probably is the safest bet as well. These two guys are warriors. They hurt each other both in that first couple of fights, but they both made it to the final bell. I think that probably is.
I don't think Triple G actually hurt Canelo.
Hey, are there any bets?
I think he backed him up. You know, look, you never know with how a guy feels. Oftentimes, there were a couple of times during that fight where Golovkin, at least the first fight, where Golovkin hit Canelo with some big shots. Canelo kind of waved him back in. I always say, whenever I see a fighter smile or wave a guy back in, it means they got hurt. It just means I saw Billy Joe Saunders do that against Canelo. I saw
sometimes.
It generally speaking means that's the case. Remember to get boosted winnings with the BetMGM parlay all night long as well. All right, let's talk about what happens during the fight. Knockdown, Sergio, that we may see during the fight. Canelo gets knocked down but wins the fight. That is at plus 700 right now.
No, I don't see a knockdown in Canelo. He's been a pro since he was 16 years old. He's never been down.
15.
He just 15.
Sorry.
15.
So he has that thick neck. That helps. He has that fighting style as well. So no, I don't think he gets knocked down. I don't think he even gets hurt. But I could see Golovkin getting hurt. Maybe not knocked down, but I could see him getting hurt.
Have you been fighting since you was 15 too? Where's your thick neck?
Barbecue boxing. I got a chicken neck.
It's on YouTube, by the way. You can check that out. Barbecue boxing with Sergio Mora. Yeah, you're right. Canelo, early in his career, we kind of wondered if he was going to turn out to be a little bit chinny. You remember that fight against Jose Miguel Cotto early in his career, his first fight in the U.S.?
Right.
I wondered if he was going to have the kind of chin that would make him a championship fighter. He has that, and then some. All right, Ak, Golovkin gets knocked down but wins the fight. Great odds here, plus 1,800. Do you believe Golovkin can get off the canvas and still beat Canelo Alvarez?
Absolutely not. I think if he's on the canvas, the fight is going to be, it's going to end really shortly after that, because I think I agree with all you guys, the body, if he does go down, it's going to be a body. And when a guy gets hurt down there, it's hard to finish a fight. There's no way he gets knocked down and wins.
And plus, it's about the finisher.
That's why
you know about finishers. You know what I mean?
That's why
for Anthony Joshua.
Opposed and ferocious. I know all about that, yes.
That's why it's 18 plus 1,800.
Yeah, big odds for that. And plus, the idea that Golovkin can get knocked down, go down 10-8 on one scorecard, and still come back to win on the judges' scorecard, that just feels a little too difficult to believe. All right. What if something crazy happens, Sergio?
Like
what if something nuts
comes into the ring?
Sandman, something like that. Canelo to win this fight within the first 60 seconds of the fight. That is at plus 10,000. Now, I know you love to sprinkle. That's what you've been saying all show long. No. But would you sprinkle some cash on Canelo to win the first 60 seconds?
No way.
No, you can put a dollar on that and make money.
Well, I guess, but no.
Matter of fact, I'm doing $20 on that. Okay,
I'll stay away from that one. I don't think even the craziest gambler is going to want to do something like that.
Plus 10,000?
No, it's just not going to happen. Save that money and buy around the drinks.
Hey, an ACL tear can happen at any time, all right? You never know with something like that. That still counts as a knockdown.
If you notice in the first two fights, these guys respect each other so much, it's not going to even be a landed punch in the first 60 seconds.
Well, I mean, you go back to the first round of Canelo Golovkin 2, we were all kind of impressed by how Canelo took the fight to Golovkin. It did take longer than 60 seconds,
yeah,
but
that's what I'm
he
saying.
started to apply pressure a little bit
They were
early.
both leery of each other's power.
But so what do you think then of Canelo's rhetoric all week long where he said, I'm coming out to knock him out the first round?
I do believe him.
Saying it.
I do believe him, but I just think no one can knock out Triple G in the first round.
I tend to agree with
that.
That
should be a plus 100,000.
All right, let's get a little crazier then, Barack.
Oh, God.
Golovkin to win within 60 seconds is plus 20,000
I'm betting on. That's a very good bet. I think you guys get your deed to your house and bet it on that. That's a very good bet. Canelo's chinny. He always gets hurt. Bet that.
The worst bet so far today.
I got to be honest. I might put some money on that.
No.
I mean,
it's plus 20,000.
Come on.
No.
I hope you guys are reading
That's
the
how they
sarcasm.
make money
Read through the
on people
lines,
like
and
you.
that was just sarcasm there. And no, I know you're a cheapskate. You're going to put money on
I'm
anything.
putting money on both of those
$20
bets.
at plus 20,000. You've spent $20 on worse in the last 5 hours.
I have, and I continue to do it because I'm like that. I like.
Do you think people thought I was serious just now?
Oh,
maybe?
Hold up. If
No, that's not happening. Sorry.
All right, but
don't spend your money on it. That's
you guys
foolish.
are going to be at yourselves if that does happen.
No, I
How
will never
sick
be
you will
upset.
be?
No, I'll keep my money in my pocket.
All right, well,
20 bucks is going
At least
that way.
we have a record of this. So later today, after the fight's over,
Maybe I'll be a little upset. Okay.
Who made the best bet? If it turns out somebody gets hurt in the first 60 seconds,
Wow.
we're not going to be able to come back to Las Vegas. All right, thanks for tuning in to the show today. And show your support for Canelo using the Hennessy Fight Night hashtag Hennessy Fight Night Hennessy. Never stop, never settle.